Good day everyone, I'm Jambi Inero, and today I will be discussing the performance task. So, performance task provides a common means of assessment as the term implies the statement will be asked to do something. So, ang performance task daw ay isang paraan ng pagsusulit nga ang mga mag-aaral ay gagawa ng isang bagay or bagay or create something is presenting of 5 minutes drama performance. So, mo ni mga example sa performance task nga dapat ma-present sa mga estudyante. And this performance task can be utilized for assessment. Expert in this method of assessing the performance of student pointed out that can be effective performance assessment tasks must have the following features. Letter A is intended learning outcomes should clearly state and use this as a guide in designing a performance task. So, ang layunin is dapat gabay sa pagbuhat og performance task. And letter B is students should be active participant, not passive selectors of a single answer. So, dapat ang mga students ani is active mag-participate sila. So dapat ang ipabuhat nimo nga task sa ila is nga maka-participate ang tanan ng mga students dili lang sa kanang pag-answer but kanang dapat ilahang kanang perform. So pareha atong example sa performance task. Letter C is students are expected to demonstrate their ability to apply their knowledge and skills to real-life situation. So, dapat ang ipabuhat nimo nga performance task sa imong students is dapat mapakita nila ilang kaalaman at kasanayan sa real-life situation. So, for example, is this activity building a house using popsicle stick. Kasi, diba, sa pamamagitan ng ilang kailang kasanayan at kaalaman sa pagbuhat o kaning balay gamit ang popsicle stick is mahuna-huna nila nga ang kung unsay porma sa ilang balay is maupod to ang maporma nila sa ilahang popsicle sticks. So through their knowledge and skills is makahimo sila og balay gamit ang popsicle stick. Letter D is a clear logical set of performance-based activities that students are expected to follow should be evident. So, kung magpabuhat kag performance task sa imong students, di ba naman jud kay instruction, dapat clear ug logical imong mga hakbang nga ipakita sa imong mga students para ang task nga ilang buhaton is matarong nila og buhat. And for the letter A is rubric should be available to help assess the level of proficiency in the student's performance or response. So pag magbuhat ng mga performance tasks or kanang mga activities, diba, na-adjure rubrics sa ato ang pagbuhat para dira makita ang kanang galing ng performance ng mga mag-aaral. Suggestions for constructing performance tasks. So, it is very important to develop high-quality performance assessment that effectively measure complex learning outcomes. Below are the different suggestions in developing performance tasks and the ways of improving scoring. So, letter E is focus on learning outcomes that required complex cognitive skills and students' performance. So, focus on complex skills. The task should challenge students to think critically, problem solving, and apply what they've learned in the meaningful way. B is select or develop tasks that represent both content and skills that are central to important learning outcomes. So dapat ang ipabuhat sa mga estudyante ay may kaugnayan sa mga konsepto na natutunan ng mga mag-aaral. Letter C is minimize the dependence of task performance on skills that are relevant to the intended purpose of the assessment task. So the task should focus on the skills you want to assist, not on skills that are unrelated to the learning goals. And letter D is provide the necessary scaffolding for the students to be able to understand the task and what is expected from their performance. So provide a clear instruction sa mga estudyante para ilang masabtan kung unsa ang dapat nilang buhaton nga task o kung unsa ang dapat nga maasahan sa ilahang gibuhat. So dapat maghatag kag mga examples or mga gabay nga dapat sundon sa imong mga estudyante. And the letter F is clearly communicate performance expectation in the terms of the scoring rubrics by which the performance will be judged. So, naaman yung rubrics na kung maghimo tag mga performance. Dili man jud mawala ning rubrics para guide sa mga estudyante kung unsa ang naa sa rubrics is ma-apply po nila sa ilahang mga task nga buhaton. Kung sa rubrics po mag-base sa ilahang mga score. Guideline for good performance task. Letter E is performance task must be congruent to the purpose of the assessment. So ang task daw ay dapat direktang nauugnay to what you're trying to assist. If imong students nga makasalat, so the task should be involve writing 1. Performance task is authentic. It promotes the convenience of learning to the real world. So, performance task should be relevant to real world situation, helping students see how the learning applies outside the classroom. And letter E is performance task includes only important outcomes that are appropriate assessed. Letter F is performance tasks adequately reflect intended learning outcomes. So, the performance task should accurately measure whether students have achieved the learning goals you set out. Letter G, performance task is appropriate for the development level of students. Ang performance task should be challenging but achievable for students. Based on their age and grade level. And letter H is direction of performance task should include what is to be done, how it is done, and what condition it is done. So the instruction should be clear and concise, explaining what students need to do, how to do it, and any specific conditions. And the last is letter I. The direction of performance task should give enough information and context for successful task completion by all students. So, the direction should provide all the necessary information for students to successfully complete the task. Define the performance criteria. Performance criteria are the specific behaviors that students should perform to proper carry out a performance or produce a product. Erashan 2000. So, ganihan na-discuss na ito about sa activities and the tasks na included in the performance task. Karon i-discuss na sab nato ang mga hakbang sa pagbuo ng performance-based assessment to identify to be used in the assessment process. So, ang performance criteria ay specific and observable behavior or characteristic na kinahanglan ipakita ng mga estudyante para matagumpayan na maisagawa ang isang task. Ang criteria sab ay maaaring nakatuon sa proseso kung paano ginawa ang isang bagay o kung unsa ang kinahanglan nga o kung unsa ang kinalabasan nito. Ang performance criteria ay nakakatulong itong magtakda ng mga malinaw na mga inaasahan o mga linaw na inaasahan at matagumpay kung naabot ng mga students ang required nga standard. Letter E is identify the overall performance or task to be assessed and perform it yourself or imagine yourself performing it. So, understand or activity you're assessing by doing it yourself or imagining it. Plus the important aspect of the performance or product. Identify the key things that matter most in the task. C is try to limit the number of performance criteria so they can all be observed during pupils' performance. So letter C is keep the criteria simple and manageable so you can observe everything during the student's performance. Letter D, if possible, have groups of teachers think through the important behaviors included in a task. So letter D is if possible, include other teachers to discuss what behaviors or actions are important for the task. Letter E is expressing the performance criteria in terms of observable pupils' behavior or product characteristic. So letter E is describe the criteria clearly, focusing on what you can see the students do or create. F is do not use words that may include the meaning of the performance criteria. And for the letter F is avoid under or confusing word writing the criteria. Letter G is arrange the performance criteria in the order in which they are likely to be observed. So, arrange the criteria in the order student will likely show them during the task. And the H is we check for assisting performance criteria before constructing your own. So, check if there are already existing. Creating new existing criteria you can use before creating new one. So, types of performance criteria. Letter A is impact of the performance. It refers to the success of the performance, given purposes, goals, and the desired result. So, the impact of the performance. This measures how successful the performance is based on the goals and desired outcomes. It's about whether it achieved what it was supposed to. So letter B is work quality and craftsmanship. It refers to the overall quality, organization, and difficulty of the work. So mag-ingon tag work quality and craftsmanship. So kisay na idea sa inyo about ani. So okay, very good. Work quality and craftsmanship is this focuses on how well the work is done. It looks at organization, difficulty, and overall quality of the performance or product. Letter C is efficacy of method and behavior. It refers to the quality of procedures and manners of presentation prior to during the performance. So, efficacy of method and behaviors. It refers to the quality of method and approaches used before and during the performance. For example, is a performance task at delivering performance criteria may assist the quality of the presentation and the students' behavior during the presentation. And for letter D is validity of content. It refers to the collections of ideas, skills, and the materials used. So, validity of content. So, kisay ano na sa inyo dali na idea about ani? Okay, very good. So, ang validity of content is ensures ideas and skills and materials used are accurate and appropriate for the task. And for the letter E, sophistication of knowledge employed. It refers to the complexity or majority of knowledge employed. So the sophistication of knowledge employed is this considers how advanced or truthful the knowledge used in the performance. And now is the guidelines for good judging criteria. Narito ang mga gabay sa pagmamarka ng performance ng mga mag-aaral na maaaring ipatupad o gamitin sa aktual na pagsusuri ng performance ng mga mag-aaral. And for letter A is communicate essential achievement standard of the assessed outcomes. Anyone can give an idea for the letter E. Okay, Mary Grace? Okay, very good. So dapat malinaw na naipaalam sa mga mag-aaral kung paano ang inaasahan sa kanila upang maituring na matagumpay ang kanilang performance. And for B is operationalize the outcomes they intended to reflect. The criteria should explain exactly what success looks like. So letter C, apply across contexts that allows for similar behavior. So the criteria should apply in other tasks requiring similar skills or behaviors. And letter D, focus on current instructions, not prior learning. So judge based on what students are learning now, not past knowledge. And letter E is observable. So use actions or results that can be seen or measured, not just guessed. So letter E is essential for judging performance of the task effectively. So the criteria should evaluate the important parts of the task. And letter G is communicate to others what constitutes excellence, and the last is appropriate for the student. So help others understand what great performance is. And the last one is make sure the criteria match the student's age, ability, and learning level. So that's all, class. Do you have questions, or do you have any questions or clarification, class? Okay, very good.